is Charles coming to you live from the Norwegian Cruise Line Latitudes members page on Facebook, and soon to be other spots, folks. But right now we're on Facebook. Today is Monday, January 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And it was a very nice day here in New York today, and 43 degrees, a little bit, mostly sunny, I'd say. And it wasn't such a bad winter day. It was a lot warmer than it had been over the past couple of days. This weekend was really windy. And with me is my good pal, Dirk, the legendary, the world-famous Dirk Breakbush. What's up, Dirk?
Oh, I tell you one thing, we have it so rough, Charles. I'm down here in beautiful Orange Beach, Alabama. It's 65 degrees, beautiful sunshine. It's just awful.
Nice.
You know, I feel so bad about all those folks that are freezing, and
thank you, including me.
I include them in my morning prayer. Trust me.
Oh, thanks. Do you run down the line? Like, I pray for Charles. He's in the cold in New York City. And
the problem is, Charles, since we got 45,500 members, it takes me about a day and a half to go down the list.
By the time you finish, you got to do it the next day. You got to start already. You got to start again.
Yeah, but by the time I get through it, then I got to through all the people we kicked out, and I got to reverse those.
You got to pray for. You should pray for them first. So welcome, everybody. This is the Min Show with Dirk and Chuck, and we do this every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the page to be able to connect with our members, say hello to everybody, and we always have lots of fun, talk about cruise industry news and information, talk about what happened in the group, and all other fun stuff. So it's good to see you all. And Dirk, is it packed? So Dirk is actually traveled from his hometown, and he's hanging out in Alabama. I'm trying to find out. I'm very interested, Dirk. So, you know, sometimes like in the summertime when we travel down, I go to like the Jersey Shore, the Long Island beaches, those small towns. It's packed with cars and people, and you got to look for parking, and it's such a hassle. It's almost not worth going. Is it like that down where you are now?
Well, it's different. Right now, it's snowbird season, and everything is. You know, I can't disclose my age, but it's way up there. And when we went to church on Sunday during the summer, there were probably about 30, 40 people. Now you got a problem getting the seat. The place was packed, standing room only.
Oh, really?
And the parking lot was full with cars, and I didn't spot one single Alabama tag.
Oh, really? All from out of towners.
You know, all the northern guys, no Canadians, believe it or not, but all the northerners coming down and all the snowbirds. So, which is good because you get 2-for-1 entrees and, you know, second $10 off. It's not as bad as in the summer, obviously, but had quite a few people down here from up north. They come down here like for 2-3 months. So it's nice.
That's good, but not aggravatingly crowded, not too crowded.
No, not at all. You don't have no waits in restaurants, and like I said, you get $5 off on the second entree. You're for us old folks.
That's good.
They don't check your ID when you order a beer. I mean, it's fantastic.
That's good. Glad to hear it. Sounds like you're having fun, and you sent me some beautiful pictures. I've seen you post a couple pictures in the group too. Really beautiful. Glad you're having a nice time down in sunny Alabama. Well, I'm here freezing up in New York.
Well, I got two Charlie. It's Alabama, but like 3 miles down the road, you're in Florida.
Yeah, you're right off the Panhandle, right? I'm looking at. I'm actually have a.
Down Mobile. Then
I see Mobile.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, right across Pensacola. I hear Destin is really nice too. I heard Destin, Florida is like a really great place to.
Destin is old-fashioned. Destin is not really that nice. I spent times there before.
Really?
But the Pensacola is beautiful. They got an amazing naval museum down there in 3 big buildings. Unfortunately, it's still closed to the public since they had that shooting down there, if you recall.
Yeah.
That Saudi guy.
Terrible,
and
yeah.
they still haven't opened the base back up because you got to travel about 10 miles once you pass the base entrance. You got to travel on the road about 10 miles until you get to the museum. So hopefully they'll open it up.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm dreaming of Florida and Alabama, Dirk, as you're talking. I'm up here, and one of the members is saying it's not that cold in New York. That's true. Mary's saying it. So, hello, we got a lot of our regulars here. What's up, everybody? And we got a few people that are coming back that we haven't seen in a while. Ron from Texas, what's up, Ron? How you doing, my man? We got Mark Sr., what's up, Mark? Anita, Ann, Ron again. Lisa, what's up, Lisa? And Mary, and we're glad you're here, everybody. We got a bunch of people watching right now, and we are going to talk tonight, folks, about the big news. First of all, what I'm showing you now is the marine traffic website, and I put all the Norwegian vessels, and then just this past week, I was like, why stop at Norwegian? So I added all their subsidiaries. So when you look at it, you can see tons more ships with a major concentration, obviously, in the Caribbean this time of year. And we're going to talk a little bit later on about the Seven Seas Splendor. And the Seven Seas Splendor is actually one of the Regent Cruise Line, which is a subsidiary of, did I say that right? Subsidiary. Subsidiary.
Well, yeah.
It's a I can't even say it anymore. Subsidiary.
Why don't you just say it's part of Norwegian?
It's part of Norwegian. Thank you. See that? Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's why you're here. You got to give me these little tips, Dirk.
Saved by the bell.
So Regent Cruise Line, and Regent's like ship color is gold on their website. So I try to make all their Regent Cruise Line ships gold, and they get a new one coming out. We're going to talk a little bit about it later on in the show, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. But most notably, folks, we're going to talk about the big news out of China. We got outbreak in China. You've heard about this, right, Dirk?
Are you talking about the beer outbreak?
There's a beer outbreak, the Corona beer outbreak in China. It's causing there's a Corona shortage, and it forced all these cruise lines. Is that right? Oh
Well,
no,
I
I'm
heard-
talking. Oh, it's a virus. Oh my God, I just realized it's not a beer shortage.
I thought Budweiser put that name on it.
More on all of this.
So terrible, scary stuff happening. Real serious stuff happening out in China. The cruise line suspend China operations amid coronavirus outbreak, including Norwegian. Although I tried to find any announcements on the Norwegian website, and there are none. And ironically, we just spoke about a big cruise line, Genting Cruises, more specifically, Genting Dream Cruises, that have a focus in Asia, and they've canceled. From what I could tell, they're offering refunds on all of their cruises in China because of this. Can you imagine this horrific virus, Dirk? It's like spreading like norovirus on a cruise ship.
And the problem is they don't have nothing that can fight it, right?
No, it's a virus. No, it's no vaccine. There's no nothing right now. They're trying to figure out it's a new virus, newly formed virus, and dangerous things. I heard different stories though. I heard it's not as serious as SARS, which, if you guys remember, I'm afraid to even say how long SARS was. I mean, it's got to be 15 years ago. And remember that big respiratory illness years ago, a SARS virus that was in China too? Anyway, I don't know how long ago. I don't know. I'm just estimating, but I remember it being a while ago. It was a very big concern. So now this coronavirus is spreading in China. And I mentioned last week when we were talking about Genting, just very briefly, I mentioned the virus. And in a week, this thing has just become a major headline grabber with lots and lots of people very concerned about it. It's even affecting the cruise line stock prices. You see a dip in the stock prices. But most notably, Norwegian, like I said, no official word from Norwegian, but they did change some itineraries, but I couldn't find anything on their website. I couldn't find any announcements about it. But really, this virus is spreading, and everybody in the world, actually, and most notably in China, is doing their best to prevent a major outbreak. It's very disconcerting. And I don't know if you remember, Dirk, a few years ago they talked about the swine flu. Remember that? That was 2009.
I remember
2009.
It's on the airport that took your temperature, with the laser.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing now. Yeah, scary. So scary business happening. Lots of people very concerned. Cruise ships are probably the worst place to be if there's one of these outbreaks out. There's the Encore. So everybody. So this is a pretty good article. I'm not going to read it, but basically it goes through all the cruise lines and what they're doing, and of course it ends with Genting, which is the most significantly impacted cruise line company. And I'll go to the website. I have an announcement from them. But here's Genting here. Chinese-owned Astro Cruises. Genting Dream has canceled a turnaround call for Guangzhou for its World Dream ship. Halting of outbound travel from China may have an impact on the cruise industry, since the massive country is a source of market through American and European cruise lines. Last year's report from the Cruise Lines International Association found that 28.2 million people took a cruise in 2018. Of that, 2.4 million cruises were from China. What is that, about 10%, a little less than 10%? I don't think it's going to impact them so tremendously, but I think, obviously, safety is the biggest concern here. So there's the background about what's happening in the cruise industry due to this coronavirus outbreak in China. And, of course, I've mentioned before, I work in healthcare, so it's big news where I am. There's a huge Chinese community where I live and where I work, actually. And lots of people, I'm sure, travel. So this is the affected area in China. This is Wuhan province. And it's kind of inland, which is surprising. It's on a river, though. And more specifically, there are discussions about how it happened, how it came to be. Here's an article about coronavirus from Cruise Fever. Cruise lines cancel cruises due to coronavirus. Several cruise lines have canceled cruises due to ongoing situation in China due to coronavirus. Royal Caribbean, MSC, Costa are the three of the cruise lines that have canceled upcoming cruises. Here's a rundown of the latest cancellations from 5 cruise lines. And, of course, it goes down Royal Caribbean, MSC, Costa, Astro, Genting. And it doesn't mention NCL. Have you heard of any itinerary changes from NCL due to this, Dirk, or maybe in the chat some of the members could say?
None.
Yeah, I haven't anything. And one of the members is saying, Dirk, that cooking exotic meats in Texas has him very concerned.
Well, I think the Texas barbecue doesn't help it any.
That's Texas barbecue. That's I don't know. I think Dirk has a bat recipe with some Texas barbecue bat recipe, Ron.
They're all Texas bats.
So making a good point is our friend Ron. And just going back to Genting Dream Cruises. So this is their website. And this has some special announcements regarding the coronavirus. And like I said, it's so funny that we were just talking about this last week, Dirk. We were talking about Genting Cruise Lines.
Right.
And major news now about this cruise line. So last week during our show, folks, we discussed Genting and how their Dream Class ships are in layout and size. Well, I should say size and shape, not layout, because the interiors are a lot different. But are exactly like the Breakaway class. They're essentially Breakaway class ships. They're very they're structurally identical to the Breakaway class ships. And if you're interested in seeing that was on last week's show. Take a look at it because it goes into detail about it. So this is the announcement from Dream Cruises. Regarding the itinerary changes, one of their special announcements. In view of the latest development of the regional outbreak of the 2019 novel coronavirus in Asia, kindly be advised that authorities in China have enforced a travel ban on cities in the Hubei province until further notice. Dream Cruises is working closely with the relevant local and international government authorities to monitor the development of the reported regional outbreak. In view of this, please note affected guests as listed below. Departing today onwards will be prohibited to board any of the Dream cruise ships until further notice and will be entitled to a full refund. The listing of affected guests as per below. So they don't name them by name, they just name conditions. So guests with laboratory confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus and their families. Guests in isolation with suspected novel coronavirus cases and their families. Guests holding passport issued in Hubei province or have been to the Hubei province in the last 14 days before the departure date and their families. Guests at the terminal that are diagnosed with fever or other related novel coronavirus symptoms, as well as their families. So you get all these people who could be potentially lining up, and they're taking those temperature by laser. If they spot you, I think it's a little over 100 degrees. They're gonna ban you and your guests and your family and whoever's traveling with you, whoever might be there that is a family member, from getting on the ship. So working hard to contain a very serious situation. And it's so serious that China is building a hospital.
Two of them.
2 hospitals. And they're trying to do it in 10 days. And look at this. They have all these things. Look at those. Those are excavators. That's an aerial shot of excavators preparing the land for China to build I think they said a 10,000 bed. Oh, 1,000 bed. 1,000-bed hospital in mere 10 days. I don't know how they're going to do that. I can't wait to see what they do. I don't think it's going to be what you would call a traditional hospital, Dirk, like what we think of as a hospital. What do you think?
They're probably going to use the big containers and stack them.
Yeah, some kind of like prefabricated
Sure.
thing, right? Maybe even like a large, maybe tent, or I don't know. I'd be very interested to see how this whole thing turns out. But really big deal going on. And of course, if you're very young, or if you're very young, you have a small child, or you have small children, or you have an older adult in your family, or you are an older adult, these are the types of things you don't want to deal with. That could be potentially very dangerous for you. So scary business. Scary business. What do you think?
It's awful.
What's everybody saying in the chat? We're going to take a quick look and see.
Well, I think that the biggest problem with it, Charles, you're the specialist, but the problem is that you catch it, the virus, and it's only acute after a period of 7 or 10 days that you show symptoms. So when you first catch it, you don't even realize it.
Yeah, you could be walking around spreading it to other people. And I've heard, I think we're going to watch a report where they're saying that the amount of people that the Chinese government is actually disclosing that have the virus is much, much lower than what the reality is. So everybody's being very safe to try and contain this virus. And yeah, there's a few people in the chat saying New York should be on alert. I agree with you, Mary. Yeah, we got to be careful.
And Chuck, the other thing too is the Chinese also evacuate. They even closing whole cities with millions of people.
Right. They're just they curfew and the whole deal. Yeah. And there's another member, Brunilda, is saying that the NCL is checking people temperatures prior to boarding. Yeah, they have those laser again, Brunilda. They have those laser temperature checkers, and they're weeding out anybody who has a raised temperature. So seriously. So then I was reading about where it came from, and China has these wet markets. Have you heard about these things, Dirk?
Oh yeah, they're little booth fishmongers and you name it. I mean, they're
people selling livestock and all kinds of stuff here.
Halls. They're. It's.
So this is like the Chinese authorities went to one of these wet markets they have here. They call it a seafood wholesale market, but they sell not only seafood, they sell animals, and they're not. I heard since SARS broke out, I heard they're not supposed to have live animals in these markets. So I've read something where they're not supposed to have live animals. They're only supposed to have butchered animals in these markets. Those are the storefronts. It's actually closed down. It's closed, obviously. So they took the samples January 1st and January 12th, and they detected that. So I don't know if everybody knows that viruses evolve over time. They're constantly changing. That's why it's hard. They don't respond to any kind of medicine. That's why you have to get a vaccine for them. So this thing, they found nucleic. They found the building blocks of the virus, of this coronavirus, in the wet market in China. So it goes through. This is just them confirming that they found the coronavirus in the wet market. And here's a guy here's an example of what a wet market looks like in China. Am I boring everybody, Dirk? You think?
No. Shows the wet market again.
Virus start. Well, I'm going to be
See what's
heading
on
into
sale.
a wet
So this is a
market.
guy.
Exactly.
Nice guy. He sounds like he's Canadian. Actually, his accent reminds me of a Canadian accent. I'm not sure.
You said nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Yeah, Canadians are nice usually. I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever
they
met
are.
a bad Canadian. I don't know. You always talk about them not being in Alabama. I was thinking maybe you don't like Canadians.
They're in Florida.
So this guy has a good channel. He's a smart guy. Seems like a smart guy. And Guilo60, I always, if I'm using someone's content, I always have to, give them credit. So this guy is in China. I don't know what he's doing there.
Like the one where the coronavirus started in Wuhan and Hubei province.
But he's given us a tour of a wet market, and this is what it looks like. I mean, those look like, I guess it might be a pig. I'm not sure what kind of animal that
and
is.
You're going to be looking around and seeing.
There's livers there, if you
animals,
look carefully.
and,
Lots of
you
butchered
wonder why,
butchered meat.
For instance, look at
Looks
this
like
here.
menace.
You wonder why viruses start in places like China when you have
Yeah, that's illegal right there. They're not supposed to have those live animals there.
live animals everywhere and being slaughtered. The Chinese really like their fresh meat, and they're willing to risk it in especially in Nanning, China. So far, in a lot of the larger.
So he's walking through.
Lunar New Year.
And, at this time of year, it's a holiday in China. And so markets are particularly busy. And this guy's a reputable guy. He goes on to say, some big networks wanted to use his footage of these types of markets because now that this is big news, they're looking for content to play as in the background of their stories. And this gentleman is there in China, and he's produced similar videos like this before. So interesting video, and shout out to Guilo60 for posting this. Dirk, you still with me?
Yeah.
So Guilo60 on YouTube made a good walkthrough of a wet market in China where they suspect and possibly even confirmed where this new virus started. So crazy news.
They do wear rubber gloves, so
They wear. Yeah, you saw somebody?
yeah.
Did
You
you?
get all this stuff. You get all this stuff there, not temperature controlled, no whole 9 yards, but they wear rubber gloves and face masks. I mean,
Isn't that true? Isn't that true though? Like in Europe too,
yeah,
that they don't really refrigerate meat. Isn't that like a United States thing? Am I wrong about that? Somebody told me that once. I wasn't sure how true that was.
The thing what shocked me the most was in Venice. They had these open air markets, butchers and everything else, and they not refrigerated, but the people were wearing face masks and wearing rubber gloves. I mean, but the temperature
Yeah.
was definitely not below 38 degrees. I'll tell you that.
So is it true? I mean, how do they justify that? How do they ensure food safety in Europe if their meats aren't
They really
refrigerated?
Well, they really, in general, they do. It's just some of those outside markets.
Oh,
but they do
okay.
control them and control temperature, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not like a third world country.
Okay, so they do the refrigeration of meats and stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. See, I don't know. I found that hard to believe.
Yeah,
in
they
that
do.
The person that
Those
told me actually
markets,
was my uncle, and it was probably 42 years ago. So I guess things have have changed significantly. If he even if he had his facts straight, maybe he just went to one or two places and saw what was going on and just assumed it was like that everywhere. So Brunilda's saying she wasn't served in Canada because she was single. She was a single woman at the bar. Are you kidding? That wouldn't fly today. I don't know about that. Where were you in Canada? Was that Montreal? Montreal's a notorious party town. Open market, and Anne is saying the open market in Barcelona stunk. And we have Marie Tony. Is NCL going to cancel Asian cruises? I'm not sure. This is what we're talking about. I haven't seen any official announcement. We just went through some other cruise lines and what they announced about their itinerary changes in Asia, but I couldn't find any real information on NCL, so I did not include it in the conversation. So I'm not sure. It looks like Tony and Marie. I am not sure about that. So we wish everybody luck. What's that?
Charles, I haven't seen any of the other U.S. cruise lines either. Like the Carnival brands. So I guess they're all like in a waiting mode. Once the first one starts, I think you want to see a chain reaction.
His Hubei province, you could see it pretty distinctly on the map. That's where they banned anybody from Hubei is not allowed to travel on ships, and then particularly Wuhan is where they believe the virus started. And what ship is here? The Jade. The Jade. Oh, it's in Okinawa. Is that Okinawa? Naha, Japan. Yeah, I was saying, whenever you see these round circles, it means the cruise ship is docked. Yeah, so this the Jade is in Japan. That's the only NCL ship I see even remotely in Asia, and that's thousands of miles away the problem is. So I don't think there's any problem there. So lots of stuff going on. That was the big news in the cruise industry this past week, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to talk about some more light. So we wish, first of all, we wish anybody with travel plans to Asia, we wish you all the best. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments, and we got Maria saying they were booked on the Spirit. Oh, you were supposed to go to Asia on the Spirit. Yeah, the Spirit is still in dry dock. We've been talking about that the last couple of weeks, and it's launching next month. That's right. I think did it have an the Asia itinerary? I'd be interested to see if there were any itinerary changes, Maria. If you heard anything, if you got notice since you were booked, let the group know what was happening. I'll be happy to announce it on the show right here if you have any more information on it. So that's interesting news out of the cruise industry. The biggest news of the week is that. There's other things happening too. Dirk, every once in a while we're in the group, we get lots of people complain about their cruise consultant. Do you ever see those posts in the group, Dirk, about the cruise consultants? They don't like their cruise consultant. They never get back to them. The cruise consultant was rude. Well, somebody brought attention. Somebody actually brought to my attention this past week of something that happened on a competing cruise line, an incident, and I thought it was funny and scary at the same time. And I want to know what you guys think. Okay, good. So just an update regarding the Spirit. Marie is booked on the Spirit, but it's a June launch date, June sailing, and nothing. She hasn't gotten any updates yet. And Larry's joining us. Hey, Larry, what's up, man? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Larry saying coronavirus fears force Royal Caribbean to cancel cruises in China. I know we just talked about that. And others, Larry. Big news. Big news. So, Dirk, I was saying about these cruise consultants, right?
Yep.
And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, and we see those posts in the group. I hate those posts, by the way. Those posts break the rules. When somebody posts and says, hey, what's better? And we see it twice a week, right, Dirk?
Oh, at least
2 or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, somebody says, hey, what's better, a travel agent, cruise consultant, or booking directly? And then we get the same answers. It drives me crazy. They're not supposed to do it. but people do it all the time. And then you get 100 comments with 100 different answers. What's better? What's this? What's that? Call Mary Jones. She's the best cruise consultant in history. Here's her number. Or you get like the incognito like travel agents, will like message people, and then we get complaints that people got unsolicited messages from travel agents. And we try our best to keep those keep travel agents out of the group. And we work very hard to monitor those posts, because it's just the same question over, and you get the same answers over and over again. Go ahead.
But the funny thing is, Charles, obviously, when we admit new members, we don't admit if it's clear that they're a travel agent, private, at home, or whatever. We try not to admit them as a member, but obviously sometimes they don't say what they are, and they slip through the cracks. But then sometimes, when you get these announcements and people ask, who's the best, then all of a sudden they come out of the woodwork and say, well, I'm a travel agent, and you call me, I'll take care of it. Then
I know.
Then we check, and they just automatically disqualified themselves.
Oh my goodness, it drives me crazy. Like the same question. First of all, the same questions bother me. That's why I posted that announcement at the top. And we gotta redo that. We gotta do I want to do a video, Dirk, of an announcement about the rules and a guideline to use in the forum. We should do that. Maybe tonight after we hang up, after we finish this show, we could do it. Just a quick video on how to use the group and what to do and what not to do. But anyway, we get those posts. What's better? What's not better? We get the same answers all the time. Cruise consultants, and we always get a couple of big box stores. You know what I'm talking about. Book through them. They're the greatest. You get this, you get that, you get perks, you get this. Oh my God, it drives me crazy. But anyway, we delete those posts. Every once in a while, we get a funny story, though, about a cruise consultant. So if you're a Latitudes member, you have a cruise consultant, ladies and gentlemen, whether you know who it is or not. There is someone with your name on their list, and they're going to call you or email you at some point to say, hey, you want to go on a cruise. I've even gotten stuff, Dirk, if I didn't log into the NCL website in a long time, and then I log into the website and I search a couple of things, I get a call. Does that happen to you?
No.
Yeah. So I'll log in. I won't be in the NCL site for a while, and then I'll log into the site, and I might surf a couple of cruises. I might even price a couple out. And then, the next day, I'll be like, oh, I saw you. Yeah, are you interested in a cruise? I'll get a call from us. So they must have some kind of sales software where they could tell that you've logged in. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering, I see Brunilda's comment. So this is a video I took on the Dawn this past summer. I love this video. I actually put it on YouTube, and I like playing it in the background because I think people find it interesting.
You're talking about the cruise lines themselves, that they can see if you logged in?
I think so. Yeah, I log into the NCL website, and I'll surf through a couple of itineraries, right? And then I'll be like, I'll think about it. Let me think about it, and then I'll just leave it. And then the next day, I'll get a call from NCL, from my cruise consultant. Yeah, I don't know. They must have something.
I talked to my cruise consultant, and she has no earthly idea. She didn't even know we existed, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really? No, not the Latitudes page.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about if I log in to the NCL website. I book my cruises from the NCL website, and I don't book anything. And
that's not just with NCL. I've talked to other people, like insurance, and the next darn thing I know, I get 2 or 3 people from that insurance company say, we understand you're looking for insurance.
Yeah, it's funny. It's amazing what they could do. So anyway, you get those posts in the group, and I'm trying to get back to the point about the cruise consultants. So some people like them, some people don't like their cruise consultants. And so I tied that into those posts. But here's a story, Dirk, that someone sent to me that's never happened to me, and I hope it never happens to anyone, but it's worth sharing because it's so crazy. So this was on a website. I don't recommend this website. I try not to recommend any websites. In fact, this might even be censored by Facebook when we got to go through quickly. So ex-celebrity cruise line call center rep admits to threatening to kill customer. So if you're reading this headline, so in Wichita, Kansas, a former cruise line service representative pleaded guilty today. This was just January 23rd, 2020. Pleaded guilty today to threatening a customer over the phone, U.S. Attorney Stephen McAllister said. Allison, wow, they put a whole name and everything. Allison C. Dixon, 32, Wichita, Kansas, pleaded guilty to one count of transmitting a threatening communication. Dixon worked for Celebrity Cruise Lines as a customer service representative in a call center in Wichita. In April 2018, so this happened a while back, in April 2018, she took a call from a celebrity customer in Illinois who became dissatisfied with her service and hung up on her. So this lady from Illinois called, the call center trying to book a cruise on Celebrity. She didn't like the person, and she hung up on the person, which, you know what? Good for her. I mean, hopefully she didn't say anything too nasty to her. She hung up. About 3 minutes later, Dixon, so now Dixon is the lady that works for Celebrity, called back the customer. So the Celebrity rep called back the customer, and then Dixon, who's the Celebrity rep, told the customer she knew where she lived and she intended to come to Illinois and kill the customer and the customer's family. So, wow. And then it says sentencing is set for April 10th. She could face a sentence of up to 5 years in federal prison and a fine up to $250,000. McAllister commended the FBI and Assistant U.S. Attorney Lanny Winch for their work in the case. That is crazy. I have never heard anything like that. What about you?
No.
I mean, I've heard of some rude, not helpful cruise consultants. Thankfully have never got my life threatened by one. This poor lady got her life threatened. Not only her life, her family's life. And what's even scarier is that they had your information. They had her information because she had been a past customer. So it's crazy, crazy stuff. But that's what you get for not cruising Norwegian, right, Dirk? That's what.
Yeah. By the way, I just saw that Mary says, "Can you switch cruise consultant?" Anytime
Yeah.
I've switched before. I just call their 800 number, and if they ask, "Do you have a cruise consultant?" I say, "I do, but I'm not happy with them," and then you automatically get switched to somebody else. So yeah, you can change cruise consultant anytime you want to, if you're not happy with them. Thank you for the flowers.
Here we go. This way I don't got to worry about it changing.
I thought you sent me some Valentine flowers there for a minute.
Did I? Oh, you saw that? Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
I was wondering what happened there for a second. I was like, what is this? Like, what am I broadcasting? So yeah, I just put it on loop so the sunrise stays until we have the next topic. So that celebrity rep is gonna be spending some time in jail and paying a hefty fine. That's what you get. So Wichita. That's what you get from Wichita. Do you think we have any members from Wichita?
Well,
Ron is saying
all the members we have from Wichita are the good people.
Yeah, it's like the furthest from the ocean you could possibly get. It's like Ron is saying, never trust a cruise line call center in Kansas. That's right. Yes, you could, Marie Tone, you can switch cruise consultants.
Anybody that got a yellow brick road, you got to watch it.
Yeah, right. That's look, they probably save a lot of money with that call center in Kansas. That's cost of living is probably a little bit less than at other places in the United States. I know where Kansas is, but it's completely landlocked. If I'm not mistaken, I think of course it is. But I want to look and see where Kansas is in relation to the ocean. What do you think, Dirk?
It's not next door.
No. Maybe this will bore people, but here's Kansas. Look at this. It's right in the center of the United States. It's like, where can we put a cruise call center? What do you think? Somebody pointed to a map. Oh, how about in Kansas? There is nothing. There's some lakes and stuff, and there's Wichita in the south there. But really nothing. We can't even get any good barbecue out in Wichita. We got to go to Kansas City. Is that true?
Yep.
So middle of nowhere. So Kansas is landlocked, and they had that's where Celebrity chose to do their call center. What else we got here? All right, so we were talking about, Dirk, you and I were talking about what's happening in Norwegian. So we're going to talk about a couple of big things that are happening in Norwegian over the next month or so. One is everybody knows the official corporate name of Norwegian is Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings Limited. And within that branch, within that corporate name, in fact, this is what the stock is listed under. And then within that corporate name, there are the brands. So we have Norwegian Cruise Line, we have Oceania Cruises, and we have Oceania Cruises, sorry. Oceania Cruises. Oceania, and then we have
Oceania.
And then we have Regent. So those are the three brands under the Norwegian Cruise Line holding company.
One quick thing, Charles, while we had the other, I have had a cruise with one of those brands. But one thing, just the points you get, they do not have a loyalty program, which means that whatever points you get on Norwegian, you cannot use in any of the other brands, nor do the other brands have a loyalty program.
Oh, really? No loyalty program on the other one? So Latitudes is the only product, the only loyalty product?
Yeah, and you can only use it on Norwegian.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's wild. So these are the three big brands. The reason why I'm bringing this up, folks, is because very quietly, actually, a new ship, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, is launching another new ship. It's the Seven Seas Splendor. And I literally just found out about it. I was looking at the marine thing that I usually play. Now I can't find it. I must have closed it. Oh, here it is. So I was looking at this, and I added, the other ships this past week. I thought it would be interesting for everybody to see all the ships in the Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, not just the NCL ships. And it kind of make the map nice and colorful. So the blue is the Norwegian ships, purple is the Oceania, and the gold is the Regent. So I was over here in Italy looking at, and France was looking at the Spirit, and then right next to it. So this means that it's moored or docked, and it's a Seven Seas Splendor, which is a Regent ship on the Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings banner. And I saw Sea Trials, so you could see it says Sea Trials, which means that it's a brand new ship. And I was very surprised because I haven't heard a peep about it. Have you heard anything about that, Dirk?
Nope.
Yeah, I was very surprised that I got to find that page again. Really surprised about it. Oops.
Anxiety, I want to bring
oh man, sorry. I got to get rid of that. I got to close that.
Also trading with Cody.com.
I got to close that window because it's the guy's talking.
Stacey, how worried are you about what's going
one
on?
is
I mean, are you worried
stockholder
enough that you've
benefits
made...
on other brands. The other brand, Norwegian is listed under the corporate name, which includes the other brands. So
that's right.
You automatically benefit on the other brands because they come under the corporate name of NCL Holding. So they're not listed separately on the stock market.
So Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. So do you get stockholder benefits on all the Norwegian brands?
Well,
that's a yes,
no,
right?
don't.
Do you get if you buy Norwegian stock, $5,000, and you cruise on Regent, you don't get like the perks?
No, you don't. I'm sorry. You get stockholder benefits as far as your stock value is concerned, but you do not get discounts if you're a stockholder on the other brands. That's probably what Ron meant.
Yeah.
No, you do not get.
Oh, you don't get that $50 onboard credit and all
brands.
that? Wow, that's surprising.
Nope.
But these ships, I was looking at this. So this is the new Regent ship. Again, Regent is a brand under Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings Company. And look at the thing. So the ship is beautiful. Obviously, look at it. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna go through I didn't look at the video, but I did look at the pictures. It's really a beautiful, amazing ship. And if you look at it, only 750 guests, Dirk. 750 guests, 542 crew, 375 suites. And it's almost 1,000. It's 735 feet in length, which is maybe about 200 feet short of the 4,000 passenger ships. And it's about the same width, 102 feet wide. So a little bit smaller.
Well, let me tell you, I have cruised a 15-day cruise on Oceania, and there was the worst cruise I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Oh man, it was awful.
Oh my goodness.
But if the very small bars, I mean, there's the entertainment was lectures in the main hall.
What was in the main hall?
They had lectures about about history lectures and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, quite frankly, if I'm at the bar in the evenings and I like to have a drink and talk to somebody, and you get a 5-piece string orchestra as background music, that's not my type of cruising, I guess.
Oh.
It takes a special kind of. It's just, I don't know. I mean, they're beautiful ships. Don't get me wrong. I mean, all marble and I mean, it's beautiful. Oh, the casino had about 20 slot machines. I mean, it was amazing. It's just,
Larry.
It's a different type of cruising.
Different experience. Yeah, it sounds like it's a more mellow, upscale type experience.
They got the 120 and the 180 day around the world cruises. It's just a different type of cruises. Obviously, that's why they have the different brands.
Yeah.
But like I said, we had some very negative experience on Oceania. On top of that, they had an outbreak of the norovirus, and it was a third one within a 4-month period.
On the same ship?
On Oceania, yeah.
Oh my God! Oh, I'm sorry to hear you didn't have a good experience.
Thank God we didn't get affected, but we saw the market counted the seal of rooms every morning, and so I mean that didn't help any, but it's just, I don't know, it's just for the right kind of people. Obviously, everybody got thank goodness everybody got different tastes, but for me that kind of cruise is. If you like lectures, if you like that kind of deal, is great. But if you just want to cruise, you want to relax, want to have some good shows and everything else, you don't go on any of those ships.
Oh wow,
But
this
the
looks like an
service was
incredible ship.
amazing.
I'm sure it's
The
okay.
serving was amazing. The food, I don't know. I mean, under normal circumstances, the food probably would have been all right, but with the norovirus deal,
Oh no.
nothing. It was different. They had a cooking studio where they have cooking classes that were canceled. So probably
Oh, man.
caught it at a bad time too. But
And that was on Oceania.
yeah,
Yeah, the ships look nice on Oceania too, and I took a look at it.
oh, beautiful ship. The crew was nice and everything, but like I said, it's
Yeah,
if you like
not
the
for
string
you.
orchestras. If you like string orchestra for happy hour, it's your kind of ship.
Oh man! Oh, you like the action. That's why. You like the action, right? That's the why. Yeah, I don't know. I could see myself enjoying one of these. You know what I think I would enjoy too, and I know we're a little bit off on a tangent. And I want to say hello to some new people. Hi, Tina. I see Tina. I see Natalie. Natalie's in Kansas. I'm sorry, Natalie. I kind of dissed Kansas. I didn't mean to do that. It was unintentional. But welcome. Tell me if I was out of line, Natalie. I'm sorry about that. My point was that Kansas was landlocked, and it was, an unusual place for a cruise
But
line.
they do have a football team.
Now I have to backtrack.
Josh,
Yeah,
they do have a football team.
they have a football team. That's true. They also have the Kentucky Derby, and they also there's a major cave system in there. What is it? Mammoth Caves, I think it's called. Big attraction. But welcome, Natalie, and welcome, Tina. I haven't seen you. Thanks for joining us tonight. And before I go on to my point about Oceania and what I like to do, Dirk, there's a couple of questions, a couple of points. So Larry's saying that the Norwegian Cruise Line, all the Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings Limited companies, so you're talking about Norwegian Cruise Line, Oceania, and Regent, share the same Casinos at Sea rewards program. So that's an important point to make, don't you think, Dirk? So you could
Well,
use your casino
that could-
rewards across all the 3
But
brands.
their casinos are so small. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
that's
not
a
much
big
to
deal.
share.
And Ron is also questioning and I'm not 100% sure on this, Ron. So one of the members, Dirk, is asking if they're a shareholder and they reach the threshold to get onboard credit. Do they get the onboard credit across all 3 brands? And you say no.
I didn't hear what you said. You kind of phased out.
Oh, I said, oh, my live stream ended. My live stream ended by accident. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
yeah.
that was weird. My live stream stopped for a second and restarted. Are we streaming? I think we're still live. That was bizarre. Sorry, everybody. There was a little bit of a glitch in the connection there. But it looks like we're back live. So my point was Ron is asking, and I'm sure others have the same question, if you're a Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings shareholder, so you buy shares in Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, that's the main company, and I think the threshold is $5,000, well, 100 shares.
100 shares.
Right. So you own your 100 shares of stock, and then you book a cruise on Oceania or Regent, and they have a Norwegian Cruise Line, which is a subsidiary of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings Limited, will give you the onboard credit if you are a shareholder and hold 100 shares. So the question is, will you get onboard credit with Oceania and Regent?
Nope.
No. Wow. All right, there's your answer. And you said that with a lot of confidence, Dirk.
Yeah, no. Like I told you, they don't share. They don't even share their point system. I mean, your platinum or whatever. They don't have a program.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So
if you're ambassador or Norwegian, you're nobody on Oceania or the other ones.
All right. So there you go. There's the answer. There is a link. I just clicked on it, but it's taking some time to load up. If you're interested in more information, Ron, on the Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings site about information for shareholders. So take a look about it. See what it says. Oh, the stock is pretty good. It's up. It's 54.16 down to $1.68. That's one. I've seen it almost at 60. I haven't seen it much.
Everything went down today.
Yeah, because of the coronavirus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't seen. Norwegian up above 60 in a while. I see it always hovering between 50 and 60. I would say a good place to buy it. I mean, it was 53.10 at one point today, and the 52-week low was 45. So I would say a good time to buy that would probably be 50. But hey, I'm not giving you stock advice.
Well, you get
I'm saying for
$100
myself.
every time. I mean, so
Don't take my
okay.
word for it. I know nothing about the financial markets, so I just from my observation, I always check. So what do we got here? We talked about Oceania Cruises, and you said how this was a different experience and much more mellow, and the attractions and the music on board wasn't the rock star experience that you're used to. It was more of a mellow, refined experience on Oceania. And I was mentioning, Dirk, before I got a little bit sidetracked there, that I want to try those Viking River cruises. Have you seen those? You go out in a little river, and you go up there, and you have like a. I think those are so cool looking. I like one day I want to try that.
The biggest problem with the river cruises in Europe, I had friends of ours love those river cruises, and more than once they had really bad luck. It's because it depends on the river level. The last time it was on a European cruise, and they docked the ship in Prague, no, in Budapest, and they did all of the tours by bus, and they only used the ship as a hotel because it couldn't go under the bridges, or that the water level was.
Oh,
too low.
I remember you did tell me about that.
See, that's the problem with the river cruises. Is you depend on the water level of the rivers.
Do you know what I said? Somebody just pointed out to me that I said the. I can't believe I did that. What the heck? Oh, and the caves are in Kentucky too. I confused the Kentucky Derby. I said the Kentucky Derby's in Kansas.
When did they move?
Oh my God! What was I thinking, man? You know what it is when you're under almost all this pressure to talk. Like you just like try to say things.
I didn't know they moved, John. When
Oh
did they
my
move?
God, Ron! I can't believe it. Yeah, and the Mammoth Caves are actually in Kentucky and not Kansas. Oh man, what was I thinking? So that lady from Kansas, I think she just left. She's like, "What's this guy talking about?" So there was a lady from Kansas listening. I totally put my foot in my mouth, and she's not like responding. So maybe she left. So sorry, Natalie. So I was totally like confused. It's hot in here. I'm like semi-conscious here. So sorry about that, folks. I did mess that up. I can't believe I did that. Sorry about that. But hey, let's get to this point. We're gonna get to the Seven Seas Splendor, and then we're running out of time already, Dirk. It's already 8:56. But anyway, this ship looks incredible. I just wanted to show everybody. They did have a video. They have a little video of it, and it just looks absolutely stunning. It's a 2-minute video, and since it's kind of related to Norwegian Cruise Line, and this is a new ship, if you're just joining us,
Splendor.
the Seven Seas Splendor, which is launching in February. And other big news, the Spirit's relaunching in February too. So we got a lot of things happening at Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. And this is the same. That's the same shipyard as they're building the Leonardo class ships coming up.
Yeah, they built them in Italy.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! They put that in the. That's very cool. I thought they would show the interiors. They're showing like the shipbuilding process. I wonder if this is a tip-off to the how the Leonardo class ships are going to be. We got to look at this a little bit more closely. Maybe next week we'll take a closer look. 375 suites, all with private balconies. I'd like to price this out. I bet you it's like mega expensive because it looks like an incredible experience, like really refined, nice experience. Look at the furniture, just by everything in it looks just like absolutely stunningly beautiful. So I thought that was interesting news for everybody. 750 guests, 375 suites, almost a 1-to-1 crew ratio, practically crew to guest. So that's a beautiful new ship. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, Dirk, today is I think last week we had a very good show because we were like looking at Cruise Critic. Maybe we did those Cruise Critic reviews, and we were busting chops about the people who reviewed on Cruise Critic. I like that. I think we'll do that again. But today, what I did, and we're going to close out the show with this, is I went to Twitter, and everybody knows what hashtags are. So hashtags are these things when you put the pound sign and then you put a little tag there. And then what that does, and you search for it, and this is on Twitter or any, it's on Facebook too, it's on Instagram. You could search by hashtag, or you could click on it. So look, I'm just clicking on Bad Cruise, and it will bring up every post in history for going back years that have that hashtag Bad Cruise. So wasn't prepared to spend another $1,000 for everything we needed to stay in Florida. How are you going to help? So these are people they probably posted at Royal Caribbean. Does anyone know? So this is actually funny. If you go through these, there are some really crazy ones. I'm going to find some for next week, and we'll talk about it. So we kind of ran out of time tonight. But this will be like a regular thing. We're going to do these things at the end of the show and just go through some of these bad reviews and some complaints about people who are, tagging a cruise line. Just left Radiance in Alaska. Be careful of the food at Samba. Frozen raw chicken that made us sick. Sick ship, bad cruise. And sometimes you'll even see like responses from these big name cruise lines that people like tag them in their posts. So I thought that was very cool. And I thought it would be funny, but we kind of ran out of time. And I'm going to go through and find a few good ones. That's it, Dirk. Maybe Ron is saying we should do an entire show on bottled water. We probably could, Ron. There's a lot of information there.
Bottled water, they're in cartons now.
That's right, boxed. Maybe you gotta say boxed water, Ron. Yeah, why'd they eat that chicken? So like the patient, the customer that was complaining about the eating the raw chicken, like they're like, why did you eat it? Right? I'm with you, Brunilda. And yeah, so we're gonna be if you guys have any show ideas, what you'd like to see or hear, in the group, just feel free to post it or send us a message. We're always looking for great show ideas. We got a member who's been really helpful over the past couple of weeks and thrown us some interesting stories for us to talk about on the show. And I love doing this show. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's nice to see all our regulars and see everybody out there. In fact, we're going to be expanding, and I keep on talking about it, but maybe next week we'll have some more information on that also. So, Dirk, is there anything else you want to say?
No, really, I enjoyed it, and have everybody on, all of the old comers and the newcomers, and enjoyed it, and hope everybody having a great week.
Me too. I wish everybody a wonderful week. I can't believe an hour has gone by already. Whenever we have these shows, it always surprises me how fast the time goes. So we got a lot to talk about tonight, and we're going to pick it up next week with we'll be poking fun at those bad cruise ship reviews and find some good information out there for you. And it's always a lot of fun connecting with all of you out there, and some exciting things are happening over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be announcing a new website. We're going to be recording a video in the announcement section to instruct people on how to use the site and what to say, what not to say, go over the rules and stuff. So Dirk and I will be doing that in the near future. And as always, send us your ideas, your show ideas. Ron, I like your idea about the boxed water. I don't know if I could talk for an hour, though, on the water. I don't know. I'll try. But we'll get some other information. And that's it, Dirk. So have a great week, everybody. It's always nice to see you. We'll see you next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Norwegian Cruise Line Latitudes members page. It's always wonderful to connect with you. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Great show, Charles.